Hey everyone, we're gonna go for a earlier drive than normal. We're gonna do a morning dawn drive, so hopefully the views are good. We're gonna do a early morning soccer practice drop-off. The season for practice has started again, so we got a different route a little bit here too, and so it'll be interesting, this drive, not only the different route, but one of my viewers suggested testing the YMCA route that we've had trouble with. Hold on one second while we're doing this unprotected left. I'd like to creep out to this line. It's slower than I would, but that's the line that I would go out to. And here's these tree roots that we always go over. Okay. 1 second. I'm going to pull over to handle some camera situation. Okay, we had a brief interruption there. Manually disengaged because the camera was shaking. The mount isn't quite there. Just maybe hold it. So also I'm going to start disengaging for some of these roots. Hitting tree roots causes a bumpy ride. And in different lighting conditions to get data back to Tesla. I'm not going to officially count that as either of those as a disengagement. Obviously the first one was manual and the second one was for the tree roots. It makes for a bumpy ride and a bumpy camera. But anyways, I'm going to start getting some camera data back to Tesla. So anyways, when we're not going over the bumps, the camera should be more stable. So just a little less secure than it usually is. So let me try to, as we're going straight for a little bit, I will enlarge the FSD visualizations. So this is FSD 12.3. What's the news in the last couple days? Elon Musk has been tweeting. Not only did he do a Don Lemon interview, which was interesting, but anyways, he's been tweeting about FSD updates, some pretty major ones coming in the next couple months, next couple releases. The goal is every 2 weeks. Some ducks in the road. Interesting. Ducks aren't super big, size of a cat with bigger, and I've seen people having them on FSD visualization. So I didn't really see it there. I wasn't really looking that well, but it'd be interesting to go back and see if they were visualized as a blob. They weren't in our path. Okay, so we're slowing down to make this right, which is new for filming. I don't think we've done this interaction yet before. We'll be going into the sun a little bit. Well, maybe not quite yet, but I see it up ahead. So that big bright ball of fire in the sky, and I'm gonna go straight for a little bit. So there's a yellow light behavior. It worked pretty well. I think maybe there was roughly half a second delay I felt before it started to react. The yellow light behavior is pretty good in this version. Maybe not 100% perfect like V11 seemed like it was, but it seems pretty safe. When I say not perfect, like there does seem to be some instances where maybe it breaks and I would go, but it's not the end of the world. It's safe, but the harsh braking seems to be gone. That was there in 12.2, as far as I've seen in testing. Yeah, it's interesting. Like there's like a crow or a raven in the road. I'm interested if those are visualized ever as well. Obviously, humans don't, just continue to drive with birds in the road. and they move out of the way last minute. So I'm kind of curious what FSD sees. But anyways, thanks for people for watching, getting more subscribers. Just people interested and passionate about watching these videos, and I appreciate the comments. And suggestions. All right, nice boost off the green light, and we're going to be going straight for a little bit. So we're getting into a, it's fine. I would call it a non-ideal lane. It's not going to cause any problems, but this is basically the lane that people get in to go right to exit onto the freeway. Here onto the freeway. So FSD will have to move back over. But again, there's not a ton of traffic. There's this guy on the left. Who knows if we'll pass him or not, but as you know, that's a pretty cool fog. You probably can't see it on the one of the fields. But as you know, probably my biggest complaint with this version of FSD is being in the wrong lanes. So you see we had to merge back and we had to go in front of the car that cut past us already. So, coming to a full stop would be interesting. Oh, okay. I was going to say, what would be the interaction on this four-way stop? And we were there just a tiny bit before that car in front of us, and FSD came to a full stop, but went off right away. So I really like that interaction. Very human-like, and it did a full stop, but it went right away. So that's an improvement over V11 that I haven't got to test personally very much. It makes the fact that FSD 12 and 11 don't do rolling stops anymore much, pretty enjoyable. I mean, I wish we could bring the option back. So we're in a left turn only lane, but we need to be going straight. Okay, actually, yes. So this is a left turn only lane, but so I think FSD wasn't perfect there, but there was two lanes going forward, so I don't know. Subject to interpretation, whether that left turn only lane meant for the road before us or this turn we're about to go on. So this is kind of like a parking lot area. I will be disengaging here, not only for the drop off, but because we're actually going the correct route. At least the route's not on the map, but we're going the correct way you need to go, because this is kind of like a one-way loop. We start to see some really nice mountain views here up in this parking lot. And I'm gonna do a disengagement. I'll catch you on the other side. Hey guys, we're back. Got a little view of the mountains. We set up some new routes here. Again, we had a reader suggest we've been having some trouble with the YMCA sharp left here, and instead FSD 12.3 makes U-turns there. So we're going to, for anybody who hasn't seen that before, we're going to do one attempt. FSD will do a U-turn inappropriately, and then what we're going to do is we're actually going to go past that at this pin and then attempt it from the other side. So I'll explain that as we're driving, but really the purpose of that is to get more data and to see if it's going to be able to make the right turn even if it can't make the left turn. So I'm going to engage. This basically is this parking lot. We have to wind our way around. You see it's not on the, there is a parking lot road on the map. It's not in the route. FSD came up here in the first place, which was the right thing to do, but we're gonna have to wind our way through here. It's interesting, FSD avoided that speed bump, but now we have cars starting to come, and what's interesting about this is we're gonna be hitting more speed bumps, and FSD 12 has been doing a great job so far on speed bumps, and auto max here is set to 10. See if it's going 8 to 11, which is good because there's students and people here starting to come in. Okay, coming up to a speed bump, hitting it. That was a little harder than I would have liked. It Didn't hit it fast, but could have done it faster. Okay. Some potholes that we are actually hitting a little bit, coming up to another speed bump. We slow down to 4 for this one. Okay, so that's perfect. That's 4 and 3. That's what I would have wanted. Okay, so I assume we're slowing here for the pedestrians. FSD is being quite cautious, which I'm fine with. Yeah, so we slowed down to 5 to 4 for that second speed bump, which is, I'm not sure why FSD didn't see the first one. Didn't see it or didn't react. So going extra slow here. We're still not on the route. And nice slow, maybe a little too slow because we're not quite over it yet. Okay, we're over the second speed bump, or third speed bump, but hey, at least we're not running over most of them at 15-20 miles an hour. Okay, here comes another speed bump, and this time we brake a little bit too late, but we do. Just the view here a little bit. Slowing down for the speed bumps. Seemed like we slowed to 0 for this one. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. There is somebody behind us, but pretty far. Yeah. I can't really explain to you guys why the logic for why it slows down in some cases and not in others, but anyways, we're kind of back out to this little side street and on the route to YMCA. So this doesn't seem, I got pretty good visibility in the left, but it ends. So I was just gonna say there's a car coming and it goes around a corner, so you can see that it's not, the view's not blocked immediately, but it is, you can't see off into the distance because it curves. And so I was looking for FSD to, just like a human, know that, wow, there's cars that can come out of that downhill curve pretty fast, and to be a little cautious. And actually FSD was, so like it could have gone in front of this car, which would not be that fun, but it actually waited, and that car was not there when we were at the stop sign. So I actually really like that. FSD did a good job there with calculating when it was safe to go based on the view. So we got sun in our eyes. We don't get the warning, which the previous version was very keen on doing, but we are coming up to our sharp left because FSD AI neural nets don't learn. They need retraining with new software updates, and this is the same software update. I don't expect this is going to be any different. We've been getting 100% reproduction of this issue, so if you haven't seen those, I'm just going to do it one more time to show you before we continue our test. So yes, we're gonna come up on the exit essentially for the YMCA, these long hilly exits, and we passed that first exit, and now we're coming up to the entrance, which is the sharp left. So we do a good job with the traffic. We got sun in our eyes. So this is also why we test this, because the conditions are different every time. So we get more data to Tesla in a variety of lighting conditions, dusk, dawn, day, night, whatever, to get to Tesla. So what should happen? So there's a car oncoming. I would probably wait. Yes. So that's a good job being patient, and it's good for our test because there's no cars coming whatsoever. So you should see that this path is completely open to us, but you see the tentacle is just does not like it at all. So it does not make that. So yeah. and then the behavior should be that it's going to pull over or attempt to take a right. Actually, and since I'm going to test this more today because I haven't in the past because there's 0 cars behind us, and just see what FSD is going to do. That's the exit there. Looks like we got a reroute, but still FSD wants to be in this bike lane only. It wants to take a right, apparently, and whoa. Okay, still doesn't know what to do. I normally would have disengaged by far by now, but I think I am because it doesn't seem to be wanting to take there's nobody behind us. Okay. Okay, FSD is not following the route, wants to go right after failed route follow, and instead in the bike lane. So yeah, we finally got to test that for longer today because of the lack of cars. But yeah, not a good thing with the U-turn, and not with so we got our green arrow. FSD is sitting here. We couldn't do something, and I'm gonna hit the accelerator to nudge it to do something, which in this case is a U-turn. Okay, so that was a little intervention. So what I'm gonna do here is edit the trip, and okay, it's blocking my view. So I'm gonna take that out for now, and that way we're not gonna take this YMCA into the left here. What we're gonna do is go past it, and then we're gonna go turn around and hit it from the other side. And really the idea with this test suggested by commentator was, you know, it doesn't want to go in there for whatever reason. Maybe it doesn't think it's a road or whatever. But let's hit it from the other side, taking a right, and see if it likes it. You know, maybe it's the angle of it that it doesn't like, or maybe just like it doesn't think it's a road at all. So anyways, let's do that test. We're gonna add YMCA back into here. I mean, officially we could just put YMCA and see how it does. But I'm just gonna keep the route that I have right now, which was to set us up to go back to YMCA. Yeah, so some beautiful morning views in the dawn here in Southern California, Thousand Oaks. So that person next to us actually did a U-turn, which, you know, maybe probably FSD would have done if I would have put YMCA there and done it fast enough. But instead I'm going to just stick with my route that I had planned, which is to go back into this neighborhood. We get to test one of these shallow speed bumps, shallower than the ones that we just hit before. And FSD should pull over and say navigation complete. So yeah, another thing that FSD 12 has kind of had issues with is it gets you know, near the nav point, but it doesn't necessarily say it's complete. So, you know, what I would expect and hope for is that it says like continue trip, but it's not been doing that. You know, it says press accelerator to resume. Okay, so let me just follow it to the letter and see what it does, because what I can go edit the trip, but I want to see if, you know, if it's going to like get itself out of this. No, so apparently does not. So this is, yeah, it's just putting, it thinks now that we haven't quite got to our destination. So anyways, something for Tesla, minor thing to work on. So I'll just edit the trip and we'll go back to the YMCA. So that was a pretty fast reroute. I just realized, guys, that the camera is okay. So we have a car coming out, but that's not an issue. Apologize. apologize. Okay, let me pull over and try to work on the camera just for a little bit, because it's dislodged, and then I might find out the recording is not going to work. Okay, we're back. I did figure out the mount situation. All right, it's a pretty new mount, and I guess it got a little bit loose, but it seems to be pretty stable now and in a good position. So it's not going to bounce around even for speed bumps. So sorry if it's a little bumpy. I didn't notice, but it looks like either I didn't put the route right or it changed. But anyways, I'm going to add that back in there to the YMCA, and we're going to attempt to do it from the right-hand side. So I'm going to wait for the autopilot signal, which is really good, to come on. See, it only took a little bit. And we're going to test some more speed bumps. Pretty shallow ones here, but yep, sees them great. Anybody that's been testing FSD 9 and 10 and 11 knows that speed bumps have been hit and miss, but mostly miss. And it's nice to see 12 doing it, because that's a disengagement for a lot of people. Okay, so we had pretty blind on the left, so we need a nice creep. The right is pretty open for me. There's traffic coming, not super fast Chuck Cook style, but fast. That was a really good decision on FSD's part. Cars were coming, and now that wasn't. I was about ready to give it a intervention on the accelerator, because the car just slowed a little bit, but I wouldn't say tons. And there's a stoplight up ahead, but I think I did cause him to miss the light, which he's probably not too happy about. And the G-Wagon, so sorry about that. Minor inconvenience. Okay, we got interesting situation with a carrier van and a garbage truck. So we're gonna have to see how FSD patience is. This is very interesting because it's right near our YMCA turn. And I wonder if this is going to be an interesting test, because, you know, we're following a lead car, essentially. This garbage truck is going into YMCA, so that didn't have any problem. But I was only going to test this once, but I've seen people. I'm going to test it multiple times now, because what I've seen is different behavior with 12 following lead cars, or lead garbage trucks in that case. Yeah, so I don't know if that was a 100% fair test, quote unquote. For example, we've never had a turn into the left following a lead car, so maybe it would have behaved differently with that sharp left if there was a lead car. So for the sake of time, I'm just going to merely disengage and not do the whole parking lot thing here, go back for the loop. Engage FSD here, so we're just going down the exit. And let's try that again. We do have some time this morning. I see the GoPro recording stabilization is much better. So FSD has always handled this really well. It's kind of, as a human, this is hard for me. I have to really go back. There's a sun in my eyes. I can't really see the traffic. It looks pretty black to me because of the glare. So this FSD with the cameras and the neural nets and the way it handles the light, actually that's as much appreciated. That was, for me, not only had to crane my neck for the sharp left, I have visibility, but it's just the sun is there. It makes everything dark. It's kind of hard to see cars. I think you would have seen something if it was in the median one, but man, it makes it hard. So we got a protected green left. FSD is hesitant. I'm gonna see what it's doing. Just gonna let it, but I'm almost ready to put the intervention accelerator, and I'm going to, because I don't want to wait forever. But yeah, I mean, when you intervene, yeah, there's a car coming into our lane, so that's appropriate to intervene. Yeah, so it wants to do the U-turn apparently, but it just hangs out there without the intervention on the accelerator. So interesting. Yay that it wants to do a U-turn, and nay that it doesn't want to do it right away. So once we go past here, I'm just going to delete the route and just put YMCA back after we go past this turn for the left that we have trouble with. So now we're past it. I'm gonna delete this, reroute. So in theory, what FSD needs to do is find a way to get us back to YMCA, and it looks like that way is a U-turn, which is fine. It's allowed. We have a protected green arrow. I saw a car do it. Now, what's interesting to me is that this seems to be a U-turn, but for me as a human, it looks like a there's room. There's like 2.5 lanes, but it's not like super. You have to make looks like you have to make a fairly sharp turn. So I'm kind of curious how FSD will do it. Seems to be turning the steering wheel all the way. So yeah. Oh, but it's stopping. There's not really cars. So, and there was someone else behind us waiting to make the U-turn. So not a big deal because it's protected. But I'm glad it did it, but it wasn't perfect. Okay, so we're gonna make our right here, and okay. So yeah, it looks like it's the based on that test with limited data, it looks like it's the angle, essentially. Maybe the contrast of the road versus the back. But with that, going into that on the right, it makes it. I mean, 2 out of 2. One with a lead car, one without. But yeah. So I mean, I think I could do more testing, but that's the only time I have for today. So I'm gonna do manual disengagement here and continue on our trip. But yeah, I think that was pretty successful. I appreciate commentator suggesting that, and I will reply to them with this new video once I have it uploaded. But let's continue. So yeah, YMCA, that road is drivable to FSD, which it always was with 11 left and rights. So there's something with 11.3 neural networks that it just doesn't think that's a drivable space. If I had my guess, it's because there's lack of contrast with the road and the wall. But okay, so same situation here. I can kind of maybe see cars, but it's pretty hard. Once again, lighting conditions are not ideal for my eyes. So yeah, that's it's good that FSD is looking out for us. And I say that because the camera technology. So I mean, they're not super high resolution cameras. They're pretty, I think they're 1.5 megapixels. But they actually I want to say see more than the human eye, but they see better in adverse lighting conditions. Tesla actually has, from what I understand, has removed some of the low-level software that that humans like for image processing, to make pictures look pretty, but for a neural network to be able to see in very dark conditions or adverse lighting conditions, it's best to just kind of have the raw photons that hit the camera. And so kind of that's where they've been for the last couple of years, I believe, just getting raw data from the cameras. So in theory, yeah, it actually it sees better in those conditions, and it sees better at night than me. I haven't really been being able to test that, but I remember when we got V10 or V11 at night with pedestrians and stuff. So it often sees pedestrians faster than me, pretty commonly. Sometimes you wonder why it's stopping or doing something, and then you realize, oh, it's because it sees a human in the night faster than you do. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, we got looks less than a mile. FSD does not like slow traffic. That's all I gotta say. it wants to go in this lane. It's not like it needs to be in the left lane now, but it certainly takes every opportunity to go around any traffic it thinks is slow, in my estimation. But ironically now, it's still hanging out at in a 40 at 31 miles an hour. So isn't that ironic? Okay, so we merge back into this middle lane. There was a gap. I guess he was getting out of that right turn only lane, but got 3 more lights. So I would like it to go a little bit faster. I'm not gonna hit the accelerator right now, but of course it seems like it just responded to my command there. Went faster when I said it. No, that was kind of a joke, but someone actually did suggest in the future that it'd be really cool if you could like kind of talk to the car and be like, hey, could you go faster here, or you know, be more aggressive or less aggressive. And I think that's a great suggestion. That would be really cool in the future if you could kind of like influence the AI and kind of talk with your car and kind of give it little preference suggestions, especially with this auto speed thing. Okay, so we got a flashing yellow left. It's not protected, so we're gonna have to see what the decision is here. There is, oh yeah, let's say there maybe is a gap, but it's gonna have to be fast if it's gonna do it. Okay, so it thought about it. So maybe a assertive, aggressive human would have made that. I probably would have done it, especially with this Tesla with great acceleration. But the safe thing to do was hang out here. Okay, so we have another gap. I think we would have had it if it wasn't for this car turning. And okay, so the car behind us is probably wondering why I'm not being an aggressive human driver. So there's a lot going on here. Now I got a biker. So I mean, I'm glad it's being hesitant. I'm gonna intervene here, just to take this gap. I don't think FSD would have. I don't know. I know people like to test everything, but I view that as assertive but safe as a human driver, especially when I know I'm gonna shoot the gap there. So yeah, as a human driver, I didn't want to wait the third time and really piss people off behind us. But yeah, it wasn't like the most ideal gap for sure. But I'm impatient to get something from Starbucks. So with that, I'll see you on the other side. Okay, we're back. Made a quick Starbucks trip, and we're gonna back out of here until at least FSD learns how to back up, which, who knows, might be coming soon. Elon's been saying some things. We're gonna re-engage FSD. Well, when it comes on. Huh, okay. Looks like it wants to go through the drive-through. Okay, fine, I'm just gonna let it because there doesn't seem to be lots of drive-through traffic. And looks like it has a lane to get out of here. So yeah, I guess that was fine if it really wants to follow that route to get out instead of taking a right. Oh, there's almost an accident right ahead there. Car backing up and to another one, but it didn't happen. But yeah, we're gonna have to take a left here, so we're gonna have to find a way to be patient. I mean, to be honest, we are taking a left, and that left lane is essentially open. As a human, I would be taking that, especially. Okay, I was gonna go intervene because we have an arrow there, and it's already gone, so we're not gonna make it anyway. So you guys can't really see that up on the left, but essentially here there was a protected green left arrow. As a human, I would have gone there a long time ago and made that protected green light. And oh, in fact, this car is wondering what's going on, so I'm just going to intervene. Yeah, actually we got two humans. I'm just gonna wave them on because so imperfect interaction there. Got this probably, and so I'm gonna start to be more aggressive and disengage because we've got people wondering To be fair, it's hard for FSD in that situation. Quite hard because there was a gap, but not enough. Take it. I'm gonna just get a little back out just to get some more space here. Still have my blinker on, and I'm gonna just re-engage FSD. I think at this point it's clear we want to go left. You see this person here actually was probably too aggressive in getting into that lane because they're blocking the road. And yeah, I'm just gonna create some space essentially. Yeah, it's just very short here. The amount of space you have to get into this left turn lane. Now, there was a spot though, if you would have kind of gone over that lane line, which FSD 12 is capable of doing, and what a human's done, we would have had a couple opportunities to make it into that lane, but now we don't have that opportunity. So that's very interesting to me. So it's starting to clear it, but then we got traffic turning right, and hopefully FSD is going to take this, but then there's cars turning right, so that's interesting. Okay, this is the spot to do it. Okay. Come on, a little bit faster. So I'm going to intervene with the accelerator just to get us through this just a little faster. Just because of all that waiting, which was not the most fun thing to do as a human driver. I know it was tough for FSD 12, but yeah, we live in a world with human drivers, so they got to go places. They got to go to Starbucks. They got to go to work. And they want traffic to move along. So, yeah. I normally don't like to inconvenience drivers like that. I didn't actually see them behind me right away, and it wasn't like a perfect situation. So I might have intervened sooner if I would have seen the cars behind me. But you can see they got impatient and they went for it themselves, even a non-ideal situation. But anyways, we're getting a lot of interesting stuff today. I hope you guys enjoy it. So we got a left and then a right onto the freeway. So I'll just enlarge the visualizations for you guys. Always interesting things to test. Even if you kind of are in the same area, there's always new cars, new traffic, new times of day, new smoke coming from the thing, new cones here. That's interesting. I don't see any cone visualizations once again, but it seems like we took them into account. And we're going to be going straight for 4 miles. Okay. So here, I think we're probably back on the previous stack, we're not sure, but yeah, I'm looking for basically what we just did right there, a nice merge behavior, because these right two lanes are for a different freeway. So yeah, we definitely have to be assertive and do exactly what it says, changing lanes to follow route. We need to do that. So now we're in the going straight freeway lane, so now we can take our time to figure out if we want to change lanes to a faster lane or just hang out here. Interesting that we're accelerating as we're slowly changing lanes. I would have preferred it went over faster in case that guy braked or something. And it's interesting to me that, so it says max here, and you know, normally city streets would not be going this much over the speed limit, and I usually use a fixed offset, percent offset, 14% I believe, which usually comes out to 75, so I'm kind of wondering why it's 72, which I think I dialed it down last time, so it makes me wonder if this version that's the auto speed setting kind of remembers your last freeway setting. Just speculation on my part. Because what I'm saying is I'm using auto speed offset, and it seems to be going higher than the speed limit, which I like, but it's kind of interesting at 72. So I can test that there, I guess. I could put it to 75, which it kind of normally would be. And when we get back on the freeway, I'm kind of curious if it'll be 72 or 75. My guess is it'll be 75. Exit is in 2 miles. Going like our lane selection here. Okay, our exit is coming up, so this is where we get a chance to just get into cross these 2 lanes of traffic, and no problem, because there's not anybody blocking our lane, not any challenge. So yeah, we got a right and 3 lights there. Nice smooth exit. Notice how it thinks the speed limit is still 65, but we're going 36 to take the freeway exit, which, yeah, that's good behavior and good speed. I like the speed right now. We hit a light. There is no right on red sign, so this car can go if they want to. But nope, we get a green arrow. I'm trying to be really patient here, person, but okay. I waited at least 3 seconds before I honked there. FSD. Because they were sitting there at the red light, and then they were sitting there at the green light, so I think that was fair. Probably on their phone. Which I do not recommend anybody be on their phone driving, but it is a more common thing these days, and this is why it's important to have life-saving technology like FSD self-driving to keep another set of eyes. Oh, okay, I'm going to intervene there because that was uncalled for braking. I mean, there is a light ahead, but there was a car behind us. I don't want I don't want to be rear-ended or anything. Wasn't directly behind us, but it looks like we're gonna come to a harsh full stop for no reason. So yeah, didn't love that behavior. So that's another accelerator intervention right there. Yeah, there was, maybe you can't see it, so I'll explain. But there was a worker on the sidewalk with a leaf blower, which you can hear still. This person here, and he's on the sidewalk and he's blowing leaves, you know, off the sidewalk into the street and dust, but there's zero reason to stop or to slow down or anything there. Okay, so here we're gonna take our right. I'm kind of looking for not to inconvenience the drivers behind us. I want the blinker to come on to turn it on. Okay, so at least signal to the people behind us that we're gonna be slowing down. There's 2 cars behind us, so I want this to take this turn fairly fast, hovering over the accelerator so it can go. So yeah, people are a little impatient. I'm a little impatient. I want it to go a little faster. I didn't intervene there. I was close to. I had my foot over the accelerator. Ideally I'd wanted to take it a little bit faster. But anyways, we're at our stop, so I'll see you on the other side. Hey guys, we're back and gonna make the return trip. So I'm just gonna get right to it. Engage FSD. Gotta wind our way out of the parking lot. And it's always fun to test this unprotected left with a median. I found out last time that actually the median is bigger than I thought, so the little median logic that they have here is pretty good. So pretty decent visibility on the left, but the right is kind of blocked by these hedges, so that's why I'm putting the right. Definitely going to need to creep out here like a human would, because I'm finally starting to see the traffic myself. I would be creeping a little bit further, so it's clear on the right after these cars, clear on the left. FSD should creep and see that it's mostly clear. There is a car coming, but if it's going to have to go, it's going to have to go. So I don't love this behavior sitting in the middle. I'm only going to do this because there's no traffic, but that wasn't great behavior there, sitting out in the middle of the road. You should have waited. Should have been more patient. Okay, so FSD is going to be avoiding this part of the freeway, and I'm going to get on the next exit, so that works. Yeah, it's been kind of interesting, even if you drive absolutely the same routes, it's always different times of day, different weather, different cars, different pedestrians, different lights, timing, different weather. So it's always something interesting. Nice to see FSD not freaking out. It's a little slow on this turn. Could have been waiting for the other car to make the turn. Auto speed is 45. We seem to be going slower than this other traffic. But turned out to be a good lane choice because that car was turning left. We are going to be going right up here. FSD saw those pedestrians. I didn't even see them. They were kind of behind a pole. It'll be a fairly uneventful drive back. Maybe we'll get a chance to test our no red and red if we get lucky. I have not been able to test that in 12.3, but again, supposedly it has been fixed and it's not an issue anymore. Nice smooth drive here. Again, we're taking a right. We're going to go on the freeway ramp. So we got a light. We can turn right here. There's no right and red, so I expect some creeping and waiting. Patience. Just curious if this FSD will go, because the right lane's free. There seems to be waiting for this middle lane also to be free. Probably a decent idea because some of these cars could be getting into lane. And ooh, I like this. Okay, so a lot of times FSD has been hanging out in these right-only lanes and not being patient. And there's even when there's but ironically, now that there's cars here, it's actually moving over. Ironically, when there's no cars, it seems to want to go hang out in that lane and then merge last minute. That's what I've observed, anyways. But anyways, that was great. That was very smooth behavior. Gonna get on the freeway soon. Short little freeway trip. I mean, as far as I can see that for a while now, even with V11, FSD's done a great job with the visualizations, meaning that it does object detection and speed and everything quite well. It's just the driving logic is hasn't always been there, and it's gotten better with V12, but it's to say it's far from perfect. There's still disengagements, but yeah, Tesla's going to improve every month. Nice boost to get up to freeway speeds. So going 10 miles under the speed limit. We're in this merge lane, which is fine. We'll be there for a while. Take a small gap on the freeway here. It's fine by me. Yep, there's a bigger gap. Left, we just took it. So yeah, if you remember, I was saying I'm curious if we go back to 75 or 72. So I went back to 72. So I'm not sure what the logic is on that, but it is on auto speed offset or auto speed. Job of hugging the left side just to offset from that RV or semi or any big sort of vehicle. Nice smooth ride on the freeway. Pretty much don't have issues for the most part. Pretty rare to have issues on the freeway with FSD these days. And if they are, they're fairly minor. Trying to get over for our exit. It's coming up in less than half a mile. With this exit, I'm hoping we'll get lucky and be the first one in line to test the no right in red, but usually we don't get lucky. Now there's a car, yeah, right in our blind spot, not Tesla's blind spot, but if I were Tesla, I would have been going over to this gap and speeding up, but we're kind of waiting last minute here. I'm sure it'll make it just fine like it always does, but it might have to brake. You see it's controlling for both cars, and that car is closing the gap. So we're either going to have to boost and get in front of this, which looks like FSD wants to do, controlling for those two cars. And here we are. Yep. FSD did a good job. And now it should be getting patient and going over right here. And it does. Maybe a little last minute than I would do it, but minor thing. Okay, yeah, so we're coming up to our rights here, and then no right and red. Who knows? Looks like it's green right now, so I doubt we'll get to test it. okay. I like that we just picked a lane and stuck in it. A nice smooth right. We're gonna come up ahead in about half a mile to our trouble spot where sometimes we camp out in the lane. So that'll be our next test. About right in this section. I've covered it many times. There is 3 lanes of traffic. The right lane ends here, and you either have to merge left or take a right. So I don't love FSD. It seems to like to hang out in the right lane and wait last minute to merge in, or it'll go about right here, change lanes, and then change back, which is not ideal behavior. So I doubt it'll totally behave, but I would like it if FSD just stayed in this middle lane right here. But we'll see. So we're coming up on this section that I was telling you about, and there's not a ton of traffic, but if Tesla decides to go in the right lane, it's probably going to be these cars are going to overtake us, and I don't love that. But hopefully just stay in this lane. I don't want any last minute zigzagging into this right lane either. Okay, here we are. So I'm gonna do intervention with the turn signal and put us back into the lane. So yeah, it's still a troubled spot, behavior spot, because of the merge lane right there. You see, it merges. So I don't know why it's doing that last minute. It's very annoying. It seems to be a V11 partial regression, because V11 didn't handle it perfect, but I swear V11 was getting better. I kept disengaging and reporting, and I could have sworn it was getting better, but wasn't perfect. So yeah, those a couple interventions today, 3 plus, I believe. Just making non-ideal choices. So looks like we're gonna make a nice smooth right, and yeah, start our wrap up. But yeah, we ended up doing a lot. We took a different route, went through some parking lots, some speed bumps, which were handled much better than V11, but also hit and miss as far as the speed, just kind of variable, but mostly handled just fine. Yeah, still made that U-turn at the YMCA. We actually made the right twice, which is cool. Nice to see that. So it seems to be that sharp left and not the actual road being closed off. Pulling over to our destination now, and yeah, we had some interventions and some interesting heavy traffic scenarios. But yeah, there's a lot going on in this drive. It's pretty interesting. Anyways, yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Have a great day.